to the greatest of the greatest. A podcast that you never knew you needed. With interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice. Asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening to Full Buddy Cast.
Singing voice.
Could you do this? Could you do it?
No, but I would for sure get I don't know what I would get right on that. That woman's an angel.
She doesn't have COVID. She's got her taste. I'll tell you that. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Full Buddy Cast. We're just going to sit down, random community members. I'm thinking about starting a People of the Plateau, something to destroy the Courier Herald. I just need to be better than them. That's my whole goal in life, is just to be better than the Courier Herald. So I'm just kidding.
That's easy.
Oh.
You've got that. You've got that pinned down.
Done. Next stop. Patch. I'm going to take out the patch next.
Ooh.
It's the patch, and then I'm slowly going to work my way up to the eMcloud Community Forum and destroy them too.
I feel like now's your chance to go after any media forums at all because people hate them so much.
Yeah.
But you are gearing yourself up to be the next hated one.
I'm looking forward to it. I already am hated. I think what I'm going to name my... Did you see that bubble? Just go.
No, I was laughing because you said I'm already hated, and you just didn't even laugh.
I know I'm already hated. I already know people that hate me. They just hate me. I hear about it. They go, man, so-and-so doesn't really like you. Like, it's crazy. I ran to that so-and-so 3 months ago, and we talked for 15, 20 minutes. So now I'm walking around thinking that we're playing Among Us and everyone's sus. I'm playing Mafia and this guy could be the Mafia. I'm a townsperson. I'm talking to them and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this guy's cool. Or this gal even. And instead it's like, no, they hate me, but they're being nice.
Yeah. I've experienced things similar to that.
Do you hate me?
No.
Are you here?
Yeah, I
you
am
like
here.
Me.
I'm here.
Swear on something for me right now.
Casey Kane's package is the first thing I saw. Your head's right next to it.
Yeah, Joey does say that I placed it there on purpose, right there, which is very nice of him. Okay, well, I like you, Sara Jones. SarahJones.
JOHNSON.
No, JONES. That's how you spell
Jones.
Jones.
Sarah Jones.
Oh, you're Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I just didn't know. That was a fall flat joke. We might actually cut that one out because you did not like it.
You only cut your own jokes out,
That's
your
true.
own bad jokes, but you'll never cut mine.
Do it. I'm already home. Who are you recording with? SJ, Sara Johnson to the people at home. Sara Jones. Okay,
don't write. Take that out.
Jizzle. Just Jizzle. That's your nickname. Oh, Jizzle. Tell her hi. I mean, she's not coming out here, so maybe she hates you.
No, she does not.
I'm just kidding. It's my Grover cough.
Just in a garbage can.
That's Oscar the Grouch.
Oh.
We're all over the board. We can't figure out who we are. But let's invite and tell people who we are. I'm Travis Kenny, soon to be a city council member. I'm being recruited at the moment.
I saw that. I'm Sara Johnson. I am not a city council member.
Do you want to be? You have to live in the
absolutely not.
You have to live in the middle. You have to live
in city limits.
Which
is why there is one available, I believe.
There's 5 available at the end of
are we up on
December.
A new election year?
Yeah, there's 5 available. People are not returning. A few people aren't returning. There are 2 available at the end of January. Or February. Anyway, so if you want to... You got the beat. You want to be a city council member?
We just bring back all the old EHS cheers to city council.
The best thing, that's a great idea. I am going to make just like, what is that? Construction paper. And then I'm just going to put signs up all over that just say vote for Travis.
Yeah.
Good idea.
You know, I was part of a couple city council runs this last time.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I had a friend and a cousin both running last time. Mm-hmm.
And did they get in?
They both did.
Did they both? Did they both work?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. We haven't talked for such a long time. I'm surprised you weren't even in this podcast room. We got so much to catch up on. But they're not there anymore, right? They're done?
My cousin still is. And then I was surprised to see that they were trying to fill a last minute seat. I know how that process goes. I saw Anthony Wright's post.
Yeah.
And so I looked and I saw that somebody had left. And I believe it's because they moved out of city limits.
Yes. And then another person left.
Kyle Jacobson.
There you go.
Yeah. Which.
Cheers.
I brought over cider.
Yeah.
From
What is this
Phil's. Called? It's Yonder Cider. I actually just found this gal on Instagram, and I follow her. She's local to Seattle. She's just really cool. She's local to Seattle, but she has a tasting room in Wenatchee, and these are Wenatchee apples that she uses. And so when I saw Yonder at Phil's, I was like, well, go ahead and give me the biggest jug you can of that, and I'll come over here. Who was the first person to get drunk on your podcast?
You.
Thank you.
You were the first person to get drunk, and I think you're the first person to say big jugs on it as well. So I appreciate that.
Let's see what other first I can come up with.
You're
today.
also the first person who has not brought. Who I'm sponsored by someone else's beer, which is,
I didn't know that you were sponsored by Full Street.
As a guest, thanks for listening. As a guest, I mentioned like 4 times an episode. As a guest, I'm forgiving you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And we're open because here's the thing. What if
Can we remove this whole part?
No, this is good.
Okay.
What are you nervous about?
Well, I don't. Is that Bud Light Platinum? Is that from Cole Street? That 24-ounce Bud Light Platinum, is
this giant neon sign from Cole Street?
Must be.
It is. Yeah, no, actually, we're okay with it. Because you want to know why? We're supporting local. And that's all we got to do right now, right? Support local.
That's true.
Well, let's do the deep dive. Okay. It's been a while.
Okay.
Last time we spoke, I think you were living in Seattle. Mm-hmm. You were driving a gigantic van around.
Oh, was I? My juice truck?
Your juice truck. Or maybe you had just sold it.
I think I had sold it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. You dipped your toes in some other industries.
Yep.
Mostly adult. And
failed
horribly. Just
still failing at it.
Continually face planting everywhere you go with that. And then you decided to go back to juicing.
Kind of. Well, so what happened was I got I have a background in real estate, and I have for 15 years or something. So what ended up happening was I got a full-time job, and I was working as like a portfolio manager for a construction lending company. They lend only to like construction businesses. And that industry got hit really hard when COVID hit. And
but you weren't you starting things back up a little bit last year?
I was like doing grass and root on the side.
Yeah,
like maybe
huge.
Like once a month I would do juice cleanse deliveries.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I had it on the back burner, but I was kind of
almost out
and just kind of using it as some side cash basically.
Gotcha.
And I'd made a couple upgrades to like my website and stuff to make things a little bit easier for me. So I didn't have to be so hands-on, but I had moved to Seattle, got a job in Seattle, and I was kind of transitioning out. And then I got laid off in March 30th actually. And
did you see that coming?
No. I did see it coming but I didn't know
I'm sure
what
they walked
COVID
it
was
to
going to do.
When they walked it to you?
we were all working from home at that point, so we were in like the deep. I call it the deep quarantine. We were at home. I was just so confused about what was going on. You know,
right.
I just didn't know, and so when I got laid off, I couldn't get on unemployment because I have a badass side gig, Grass and Root, that I own. So I needed to pivot really fast, and so I just went full speed ahead.
Was it EBAT pivot and full speed? Did you do an outlet pass? Was it freshman team? What type of pivot? And you played basketball back then, right? In the middle school?
I did, but it wasn't. It was like with Mr. Nelson on like the community team. It wasn't. I wasn't that good. I think I got a couple practices in with Jenny's fancy team, Jenny Poe's fancy team.
Really?
I was really good. I was a really good ball handler.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Laugh
make
at
the
that.
joke. Good ball handling, Sara.
I could like go in between my legs all the way around the block. I could like do all these things, but I just wasn't that good of like an actual player.
Well, were you competitive?
I wasn't that competitive. I'm still not competitive.
But now, let me ask you this, okay? So, you remind me of my oldest daughter, okay? You're still young. I mean, she's you right? Okay.
Yeah.
And she's 17. She was good at basketball. She's kind of competitive, but she mostly is, like, she cares more about feelings with, like, because they teach you, oh man, if you play basketball, even though if you're your best friend and they're on the other team for the next 60 minutes, they're your enemy. And then she's like, is that you or no?
No, I wasn't so much caring about the other people's feelings, but it was more, I was there more for the social aspect.
Gotcha.
But I wasn't bad at any of the sports. I wasn't like super duper good either. I wasn't going anywhere with sports at all, but I mean, I could keep up.
You just blew my mind.
My friends were athletes though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to compare myself to like Katie Ainsworth or Jenny Poe or, any of those gals, I'm definitely not on their level.
Right.
I was like underneath them, but I was there to be like, yes, Katie, go.
You just absolutely... I feel like this is a therapy session for me.
Well, we can dive deeper too.
Most of these things turn into that, where I invite people on, we talk, and then I just talk about myself the entire time. But what I'm saying is, I'm a social guy. I played basketball because it was fun, but I also did it because I wanted to get chicks.
Didn't work. I had to. You threw me the ball and I dunked it. I mean, it was like easy. No one was even around.
You just posterized me. In fact, if you were Craig Bentley, he has a new saying now that we came up with on the last podcast episode, which was he's a surveyor. You just got surveyed. So you just surveyed me, punk. But anyway, that might have been me. Maybe I was just doing it for the social aspect, and then I realized I would have more fun in the stands than I would, and cheering on the team and yelling and doing the wave and doing crazy stupid stuff there than I actually did running the lines and sucking the entire time.
Yeah.
So wow, I'm
a good wingman. And look, all of my friends...
Can we cheers again real quick?
All of my friends are married. I did my job.
I'm almost 40, and I think you just broke down the last 25 years of my life, me trying to figure out like why I quit basketball.
Yeah.
Because I would have been in the NBA if I... And now I realize I was just more about the social aspect of it. I'd be easily in the NBA right now. But
all of the people that I played with, I mean, I'm still super good friends with.
Yeah. That's good.
And I feel like even the people that I'm not as good of friends with, but I still keep in touch with like on social media and stuff. Not like send messages or anything, but just like watch their stories. Yeah. Like I really am like more genuinely interested in what they're doing than I am the average person that I just went to high school with. Because like we had a team aspect.
They're like your cousin, right? Because you spent summers and winters and the grueling aspects of just running and hating and rooting them on to hit that free throw, so you don't have to do any more grinders or running lines or any of that crap. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how we got here, but thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, you know what? My favorite thing to say is you're welcome. Even when you don't say thank you first.
Why is the majority of the stuff you say have a hint of just inappropriate, like, it's just a hint? Know. Is it how you deliver it?
I don't know.
Are you known by other, like, how many dirty joke innuendos do you get, like, thrown at you a day?
Well, I don't talk to anyone. So I don't know. I don't really get any. I don't get really. I mean, during quarantine or pre-quarantine, because I feel only talk to my family at this point. But
did you watch Arrested Development?
I did, but you know what? That's not really my sense of humor. I know people always think that I'll be into that, but I just couldn't.
But and Tobias,
that new one,
is always saying. Like,
doesn't he have the huge head and he's bald?
Yeah, I get that. Thank you. Appreciate that. But he's always saying things where it's like, are you knowing what you're saying right now? Anyway, yeah.
I do have an inappropriate sense of humor. I always have.
And
I can't help
it. The funniest thing, guys, you guys don't get this. Sarah and I will text randomly. Like, usually I think it's when Sarah's just plastered and it's
usually when I'm drunk at home and I don't want to put what I want to say
on Facebook, but you're like, this would be so funny. Look at this. What if I commented this right now? How great would that be? And then it always just goes down a rabbit hole of just like literally the most inappropriate jokes you could ever, you wouldn't expect it. Let's just say you wouldn't expect it.
The crazy thing is that all of my friends that I am inappropriate with that are males, their wives
don't care.
Significant others do not care.
Yeah, they don't care.
And I don't.
Do you wish they did?
No, I love it. And I'm the safe zone. I like being the safe zone.
You are the safe.
I am the safe zone. But I mean, when I really start thinking about it, I'm like, oh wow, I'm zero threat.
You are a zero threat.
Women,
I'm a zero threat too. We're safe zones. We could walk up and hug and just like linger a hug, and we could do wink at them. And we have a couple mutual friends that if they did that, even though you probably wouldn't be into it, there's still a threat because it turns into then awkwardness. But you,
yeah, I could do just about anything, and people would be like, Sarah.
Sarah.
That's exactly how my
You sent this text. You sent this text the other day. You said Sunday at 9:10. Now I was on a anger Russ. I was mad at Russ. I was blaming everybody. I don't know if I even blamed Sierra. I was blaming his podcast.
So many people were blaming Sierra.
I was blaming his podcast and him focused on these other dumb things. I would blame Sierra as a factor. Not one of them, not the main factor, but I just think he's distracted right now. He's got a zillion things. She's one of the zillion things. I'm not saying she's the one. So you say, and just in a typical Seattle like liberal voice.
Oh my God.
Just a typical Chaz voice. Why is it okay for people to point the finger at Russell Wilson's wife? Does he tell her name? Wait, does he tell her name when he makes a bad play or something?
I meant, does he say? And I wasn't drinking on Sunday.
I don't get it, but I'm not a huge football fan. Just a huge fan of women not taking the blame for men. And then you said, "Oh, does he?" And then you said, "Oh, yell." Does he yell her name when he makes a bad play or something? I'm just a huge fan of women not taking the blame for men. Now, were you wearing a vagina hat when you typed this?
No, I just had my current vagina on.
That's hilarious, actually. That should be a new saying where men say, or not men, actually everyone says it, hey, pull your head out of your ass. Maybe you say, hey, Pull your head out of your vagina.
Hey, put your vagina on.
Put it on.
You need to toughen
it's
up.
like you're thinking.
It's like your helmet.
It's your thinking cap.
Your thinking cap.
Put your vagina cap on.
I need you to think sensibly right now. Can you please put your vagina on and get your head straight?
The last thing anyone is ever going to associate with thinking sensibly is then say, put your vagina hat on. Oh, man.
I do want to explain that text a little bit, though, because I saw, and I didn't want to get into it on Facebook.
Tony Signani.
So crazy right now.
Zachary Senna.
Zach
the hog dog
for 4 years.
Me too. High five.
So I just saw like a whole bunch of people on there, like saying, "Oh, well, it's Sierra. It's Sierra. He needs to get rid of Sierra." And I'm like, no. Why can't it just be that he didn't perform well today? Why does it have to fall on her shoulders? Because I'm sure, like, if
I failed. That people would be, why is Jamie?
Yeah, let's go find Jamie.
Yeah.
It's her fault because she's a distraction. It's like, I just think it's a cop-out. It's like, no, why can't he just not be performing? And if it's a matter of he is distracted by whatever it is that he's distracted by, then that's only his business. And it's because he isn't getting his head into the game, which also means he's not putting his vagina on.
Helmet on.
November is Vagina Month.
Oh, it is?
And they
put it on.
They put vaginas on their helmets. They go from the pink ribbons in October to
pink
vaginas.
Helmets. Pink helmets. Which are often, the pink helmets are often, misinterpreted as wiener heads.
I have not misinterpreted any of them as a wiener head. But if you have, doesn't surprise me.
So here's what I said back after that. Women suck. And you didn't respond.
I know, because I was like, I laughed at it, though. I knew you were joking with me. I didn't think,
I said kidding.
Oh, you're a dick.
I said kidding. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad that you cleared that up. Thank you for coming on here to clear up that text. Everyone, thanks for listening. Just kidding.
See ya.
No, so, but I will tell you this. Girls can be a distraction, right? And guys have said that since high school. Oh, dude, bro, you're always hanging out with so-and-so. And so I think that kind of sticks around. But I think guys can be a distraction as well. But what it comes down to is that... maybe the Rams just played better than us. Maybe the Rams just played better. Yeah,
that's exactly it. And I just think if we
maybe their wives were less distracting. Maybe the Rams fans have boring wives, or Rams players have boring. That's good. That's what it could be.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone that's a high class celebrity that is married to a Rams player?
I'm thinking about Sierra dancing at all times, especially if I'm throwing a ball.
Yes.
So I get it.
Yes.
No, I just think that like even guys in high school, that I feel like that whole conversation, if we just stopped that whole conversation and we wiped it out and we just said, no, it's not your girlfriend. It's not his girlfriend. It's because maybe you need to start meditating and you need to clear your own head and get your head in the game. Like, it's not so much about that. It's not the women's fault. It's the man thinking about them. It's the man thinking about them. It's not the women.
This is going to make you mad.
And try me.
You want? I'll bet you money right now.
Okay.
So I went to a Christian college.
Okay.
Big surprise, right? I always say that. People are like, what? You did? During that time, it's a bubble, right? Everyone's there for the Lord. So you've got guys and girls, right? And they're 20 years old. The guys would, because they can't handle their own lust, and lust is a sin. They can't handle their own fantasies and their hormones and this and that. A girl would show up to class just out of the shower with wet hair, fully clothed. And I witnessed a guy walk up to her and say, "You're stumbling me right now. Could you come to class with dry hair?" Does that make you mad?
No, it makes me sad for those people.
It's crazy how quick.
It makes me sad that there's places in the world where it's the woman's fault. That's not her fault. Like, she can have, like, wet hair is not if it's not her wet hair, it's your trigger. But the conversation needs to change where it's not her that needs to change. It's that guy that it's his trigger. He needs to change.
He needs to work on himself.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you went to rehab or something, like for drinking or drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be, and you show up to a bar, you're not going to ask everyone at the bar to stop drinking because you have a problem. You need to place yourself where you need to be so that you can be your best self. So I think that that's how it should be looked at. That if you're distracted by a woman like that and you can't get your head in the game or you can't study because she has wet hair
and you're thinking about just bad things,
then you need to fix yourself. It all starts with us.
But if she's rocking some Pantene Pro V and maybe it was Maybelline on top of that, she went to Barbizon where she trained to be a model or just look like one.
Yeah.
Then maybe he has a point.
Wet ass hair.
The wah.
I would like to know where that guy is now. Do you remember his name?
Yeah, I know who it is exactly. Yeah, and I'm not going to say it.
But you know what? I know where he's at. Can you sideline this conversation and come back to it at a later time and be like, hey, so I caught up with that guy and he probably no longer goes to pools. He can't take his child to pools. His child doesn't know how to swim because he can't take them to swim lessons.
Oh.
His wife only showers when she wants the D.
She just knows. That's his mating call.
Is that you?
What?
Was that you with the wet?
No.
With the wet ass hair?
No. I'm not into wet ass hair. I'm anti wet ass hair. Sometimes I'm like, because here's the thing. We're gonna be a little more public here. This is adult talk time. Okay. Obviously, when you hear the shower running and your spouse is in it, you're kind of thinking, oh, okay. All right, maybe this is going to happen. Maybe it's not like getting ready for work. It's like just a random point in the day. It could be at night. And you're thinking, okay, and then you're thinking, all right, I'm going to catch her walking out and she's going to be, a little naked. But then you see, and it's the hair is just tightly wound in a towel. And the towel just doesn't do anything for me. It's just not at that. I feel like it's like.
So you are into that wet ass hair.
Take that towel off. I'm not wearing a towel. Off your hair.
Did you love it when people did that gel look too in the 90s? Okay, so where it always looked wet.
I think that's what contributed to most of my hair loss because what I would do. Is I would mousse it and hairspray it. That's what they said. They say mousse it up, and then keep it wet would be the hairspray. And I remember a friend of mine when I was a freshman. Sorry, I was a sophomore. I would load it up. And he said he actually pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey man, just so you know, you got hairspray every morning." You've just got hairspray running, dried, running down your forehead everywhere, where it looks like someone's melted a candle on
hair.
top.
That's some wet ass hair.
Man, maybe I am into wet ass hair. Maybe that was me. Another deep dive with Sara Johnson.
Did you ever have a gal come up to you when your hair was wet ass hair like that? Did you ever have her come up to you and say, "Hey, Travis, I just need you to maybe do your hair a little bit differently because I can't really focus on class"?
Never. But I've been thinking about this, and I guess I never
think about how crazy that sounds.
It sounds dumb.
When you reverse the roles, it sounds so crazy.
If a girl came up to me, actually, but here's the difference. Girls look at that and they go, "Eh." Ooh. If some chick did walk up to me and said, "Hey, buddy, I'm getting that wah because of that wah." I'm liking what you're doing. You're walking out with that hair coming out of the shower. You're looking good. You're making me stumble. You're making me lust. I would be like everywhere I go, just misters, just hitting it hard for everybody. I'm growing a mullet at that point, man. I'm flipping it in the wind, and I would eat that up. But I know that's the difference. If you came up to a guy and said, "Hey, you're stumbling because you're wearing that shirt," I would buy like 12 of those shirts and just wear them all the time and be like, "Deal with it."
Yeah.
I'm just sexy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's where I want women to be like that. Where we're like, you know what? Sorry, I like this oversized sweater that's not showing my body at all. You need to legit just figure your own stuff out because it has nothing to do with me.
It's empowering.
I feel
like if there isn't enough of this right now, it's that men need to be empowered. And they do.
That's so great. They're not empowered to like control themselves. They think that like an outside thing controls them, where it's like, oh my gosh, whoa, this is my therapy sesh now.
I was being completely sarcastic.
No, it makes so much sense because it's like we're always talking about, or you hear so much like about empowering women and we don't need to like tell them what to wear or what to do or whatever. And actually they are empowered. They're doing whatever they want. Who's not empowered is the men who thinks that the women are controlling them by whatever they're doing. So grow some balls, gents, because we're just going to wear our hair wet all the time.
All the time.
That's the stupidest thing is the wet hair. I can't control myself.
So the wet hair. So if you don't realize, what's just really distracting right now is I've got like an inch of just hair like growing around the cul-de-sac, right? Around the top of the head. The Hasselbeck cul-de-sac. And I know when I need to cut my hair, and that is when after I dry my hair, I still feel water coming down my back.
Oh.
That must happen to you girls all the friggin' time.
Yeah.
How annoying is that?
You know what's even worse than wet hair is when you dry your hair and you're like giving yourself a blowout and you're like trying to use the roller brush.
Everything you say.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
Call Matt Fugit. It's called a blowout.
Wonderful.
He charges a lot of money for one, by the way.
All right, anyway, you got your blowouts.
Okay, so getting your hair done and a blowout is when like you get a professional or you're really trying hard at home to like dry your hair with the big roller brush and it's supposed to like give it a lot of volume. Mm-hmm. By the time you're done doing that, your hair's wet again because you've started sweating. It's so hot in a small bathroom.
Out.
You're working out.
And it's hot.
And
it's
hot.
Arms.
You're just moving you're just blowing this hot air on you the whole time. That's why I wear a husky hat whenever I can.
What I never understood is we're at the point. I'm going to ask you this. Casey Scott actually posted this, and it blew my mind. We'll get to that in a second. But we have everything else. Like hair dryers is like 1950s, right? When do we create something that's just like a shower, but it's air?
Oh, yeah.
Like where it's just heat just going like real quick, like a huge air dryer.
Like the new Gamblin car wash, but for bodies.
Yes. You got it. You figured it out.
Call Tyson.
And then we get these little handheld things, right? It's like,
yeah.
It's dumb. Call Tyson. I will. Let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten poop on yourself, dog poop? Maybe your own poop. Have you ever got poop on anything else, any other part of your body? Have you read this or seen this yet? Where you would then clean it with toilet paper?
Oh, no, but my friend asked me this a few years ago, and he was like, I was thinking about it. And like, no, I know that's weird,
it's
but
so
I mean,
weird.
I do use wipes. That's the
Oh,
nice
you're a wet
thing.
wiper.
Yeah, I mean, what else would you do? You gotta. It's almost like a little.
Dude, what a wet we
paper
got
bidet.
We got a little theme going on here. just
private,
just wet privates.
Well,
all right.
I'll drink more.
More to that. I'll drink some more to that.
Whoa.
So yeah, I don't think I would either.
Here.
Thank you.
You better pour this yourself.
Yeah,
I'm passing him the jug.
The big
jugs.
And
he's actually putting it on his boob.
Okay, have you not seen this?
No, but I thought you were making a jug joke.
No.
By even doing
this.
Here.
So this is a thing I picked up because I'm not strong enough to just hold and shake a friggin' growler while I pour it. What you do is you use your body to just do the perfect pour.
Okay.
I've perfected this. Well, perfected it.
You know, nice wines have the divot in them.
Yeah.
You could put your nipple right in there.
Oh, that's a great idea too.
It a little bit further.
We talk
about. Am I just being too weird?
No, this is what we needed. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay, tell me if this is a good idea. Okay, I'm doing a juice cleanse for January.
You did not buy one from me?
No.
So I want to know who the fuck you bought it from.
Okay, this is what it is. Okay. I'm not drinking any apple juice, too many sugars. I'm not drinking any orange juice, too many sugars. I'm not drinking ruby red, fruit juice, none of that, right?
Right.
Right, so I'm cleansing myself of juice. So I'm doing a juice cleanse.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Boom, still got it.
Well, I have one called Field of Greens that doesn't add any juice to or any fruit to it. It's all veggie.
Field of Greens?
Mm-hmm.
Is it wet?
It comes in powder form.
You just that'd be horrible to try to drink. So you don't like my juice cleanse?
No.
Not at all.
No. I mean, it depends what you're eating. You can get some benefits from just eating healthy and not including those sugary drinks.
I'm joking about cleanse. Okay. So what do you got on what's on tap for you? Like what's right now here comes the hot cellar. Grass and what'd you think it was? Did you always know it was murderer? Yeah. I thought it was word 'em up. I thought it was words the ma. Like I had no clue it was murderer until someone actually I pulled the CD full flap out that kids don't know what I'm talking about.
All I remember is knowing it was murderer. But I don't.
Oh, so you didn't know any other words? You're like murderer.
I loved that song.
It was a good song.
It was.
What was the best part of the song? To me, you go and then I'll go.
I don't. I'd need to hear it, and then I'd be like, "Oh, it's coming up right here. This is my favorite part."
The number one part, which I could never get on the frickin' I'm listening to Cube, was the hit it nah at the very beginning. Be Shelly Hart like, hey, all right, everyone, thank you so much for we're 93.3 Cube, hit it, and I'm like, oh, I missed it. Again, I missed it.
It's the equivalent of Mike Martinez's
hit it, nah. Yeah, and that was my favorite part of the whole dang song. Okay, do you agree? Best part?
Yeah, that was.
That's all I wanted you to say.
It was a good one. It was.
So hit it. What's your tell us what's going on with your stuff?
So I'm delivering juice cleanses every Sunday through Wednesday. And my juice cleanses are just, a lot of people like to talk about weight loss with them. I don't. I think it just really helps me feel really clear-headed and... Clean. Yeah. Not like clean in the sense of like I'm shedding pounds. Just that like we just eat so much sugar and processed stuff that like I feel like we're just not our best selves at all times. And I'm my best self. I can function better. I can perform better. I can work a lot harder if I'm not like drinking and eating bread, eating a bunch of processed stuff, eating tons of dairy. We just are like off track, I feel like. We just need a lot more fruits and veggies in our life, and drinking some juice is just an easy way to do that.
So is it the ease of drinking it that people are into? Is it the texture? Because, like, for instance, I hate celery. I won't eat celery. And it's just, I feel like when I look at vegetables and eating vegetables, it's much easier to bite into some bread and a nice juicy burger and some cheese than it is for me to just like try to just chew down some carrots, chew down some celery. But juices make it easier.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. If you wanted to talk about ease, I think that's where like we're kind of mind warped right now a little bit, where we think that like having a burger is easier, but I bet I could eat a handful of cucumber and hummus faster than you could go get a burger, come back home. You know, like if we were really talking about ease, what is ease? Like you have to wait 40 minutes for Uber Eats to bring you a burger, or you have to go in line, you have to order it, and I can guarantee I could be done with my meal by the time you get home, and you're just getting started, and you have to now like reheat it in an air fryer. Those are so bomb.
Do you make any like crispy I
just started using one this week, so I'm like high on air fryer right now.
Well, let me tell you, it's a deep dive into the YouTube realm of what to cook in an air fryer. I've only got to the page of chicken wings and like baked potatoes.
Yeah. Do you want to go any further, or are you happy there?
I just don't know. It's just at that point, it's becoming too much work.
Yeah. Did you ever beat any video games, or do you just like play to get to level 2? I see you have a Super Nintendo over there.
You're the worst. You're the worst, making me feel so like. All right, everyone. Thanks for having Sarah on here. Well then. Are you maxed out? Are you looking for more people to purchase? I know that it's
always.
Okay, so you're not like mad dash running. I feel like every time I like talk to you or text you, other than when you're drunk, it's just mad dash running.
Yeah, I am really busy, but it's a comfortable busy, and so I'm either making juice or delivering it, or
where are you making it now? Are you making it at Kelly's still?
No, they're selling. I have a production kitchen.
Is that like a dumpster? Is that like a dumpster?
Dumpster dive.
Is it behind?
I'm not available.
Is it behind the Olive Garden dumpster where you just grab all?
It's Olive Garden is like halfway, my nemesis.
It's halfway blended already.
That's exact. Olive Garden's such a good thing to bring up on like why I need to make juice and give it to the people, because it's like just all of that like pasta and thick bread. Cheesy and it's like fake bread. It's not even real bread.
It's not real bread.
It gets all brought, like there's no chef there making it. They're just heating it up.
It's delicious.
No, it just gets brought in on a semi, and then it's basically like heat and serve food. No one's like trying it and saying like, "Oh, a little more garlic in there." You know, it's like
a little more garlic in there, chef. Hey, chef. Hey, chef. I'm not at the Olive Garden, but a little more garlic in there.
They gave somebody a chef title only because that's the manager of the kitchen.
Yeah,
and that guy's supposed to make sure that all the
who went to GRCC and went to like 3 culinary arts classes.
Maybe.
So then are you delivering all over? Like, what's your realm right now?
You know what? I used to try to keep it like I used to be such a control freak, and now I just like let everything go. I deliver anywhere. I even just added Snohomish because some really great gals in Snohomish that are personal trainers and they do like meal prep stuff. That they've been promoting me a lot up there. So I've even been going up to Snohomish, but I go anywhere from most of Pierce County to Olive King, and Snohomish.
So one of the downsides of COVID probably one of the upsides too is that traffic's a little less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know people. I'm working from home, but but
you're basically still at work.
I am. It's like I used to feel so good. Like everyone's like, "Wow, your commute's nothing." I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." And then, and now it's like, like everyone's got that commute now. Nothing. So, with that said, though, is it hurting the restaurant industry? Is it hurting your industry where people typically, when they go to work, they have their 30 to 45-minute lunch break and they'll go visit a place to go grab some food. Now they're not doing that anymore. How about you? Like, are they ordering from you and you're just delivering to their houses rather than delivering to work areas? Like, what's going on?
I think I was the exception pre-COVID that I was delivering and people were surprised that I would show up at their door. They were thinking that it was going to be like delivered by Amazon, or people would reach out and be like, I haven't gotten a tracking number yet. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in Bonnie Lake. I'll be there in about 30, you know? And so now I don't have those things. They understand more that I am making and delivering the juice. I am the one that shows up. And I think that the restaurants and retail places like downtown Seattle, I went down shopping a few weeks ago. And it was a ghost town down there. And it was like the beginning of December. And so those restaurants are getting hit a lot harder because they are in a place that's like maybe not a lot of people live, but a lot of people work. And those work industries are not so much, those work industries are like office people. I mean, there are a lot of retail there, but those retail people are not what's like driving the city. What's driving the city is like the skyscrapers filled with office people, and those people aren't there anymore.
Right.
So you can definitely feel it. It's a ghost town for sure.
But it's not really hurting you because you were already doing that.
No, it's only helped me.
So then let's say that I walk to you in my time machine. I show up on January 1st, 2020. And I say, hey, Sara, in about 2.5 months, 3 months, Washington's going to be shut down. We're going to be shut down where people are going to be working from home. You're going to have to wear masks. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing anything different? Are you like, even with Grass and Root, are you doing anything different? Are you figuring to do what?
No.
You wouldn't have done anything different.
I would do nothing different.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing that I would have done differently is I wouldn't have been so sad at the beginning of COVID and the quarantine. I was really scared and really sad. I wish that I would have like rode the wave a little bit better.
Now, what do you mean by really scared and really sad?
I was just like in Seattle by myself. I wasn't on Facebook at the time. I mean, I still had my Facebook, but I just wasn't like getting on it. And I just like I didn't watch the news. I didn't really know what was going on. And I would just kind of, I was just hearing things from people at work, and we were like going to work, and I'm like, no, this is fine. Like COVID, whatever. Like I was just kind of like blowing it off, thinking that it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
And I just wish that I would have taken it a little bit more seriously. But personally, what I would have done differently is I just would have kept up my workout routine the entire time, and I would have stopped drinking.
You look like you haven't gained any weight. Like, you look like you've lost weight.
Well, I got fat and skinny like 4 times in the last 9 months or 10 months or whatever. Yeah,
I've done the same thing in the past 9 years, 10 years.
Same. But I just would have like tried to keep up my routines a lot better and not like let it affect me emotionally. I think it affected me emotionally a lot, but business wise and like what I would have done with life, no. I feel like all of my struggles over the last 5 years with my business were all so that I could work through this past year, so that I would be okay. I've been okay the whole time these last 5 or 6 years that I've been in business, but this has been the best year of my life.
I'm gonna die. Oh, best year of your life?
I mean, of my the best year of Grass and Root for sure. And I don't know, and this is definitely the biggest year for growth for me, like professional growth.
I'll let you get that.
I'm just going to turn it off. But it's a dick pic.
Oh yeah, send them.
I'm kidding. It's not. No.
By the way, we never did that. I never was able to take over your dating site to kind of see how many dick pics we could get.
I don't want to see any dick pics.
Have you gotten dick pics since the last podcast?
No.
Not one? Unsolicited?
No.
Not from the HD?
What's the HD?
You know the HD.
No.
I think he lived near you.
Oh! Oh! Okay.
Can we talk about?
Yeah.
Can we talk about? You lived. I know we just switched. It was the best year of my life. Cool.
Next.
Let's talk about the hog dog.
Yeah.
That was the worst year of my life.
There was a couple dark ones in there, and it definitely was when I lived out there. But that wasn't necessarily his fault. That was my own. I take responsibility for my own stuff. But
did you have wet hair?
I don't even know if he has hair.
No, did you have it?
I'm sure, but I don't know that he ever saw my hair wet. He'd always be like, just have some girls out and lay out in the yard whenever you want. Drink some wine out here. And I'm like, I don't have friends that want to come over and just lay out in our bikinis.
You know what you should have done is just invited like me and Mike and other people, and then we laid out there in our just thongs. We would just be just in our Speedos, just laying there.
Oh, God, man butts.
Just European.
All over his 2 acres.
We're just rubbing lotion on each other, suntan lotion. I'll still do that.
I mean, I know where he lives.
Yeah, you should. You lived near him?
No, I actually rent. He has a really cute little studio apartment up above his detached garage, and I lived up above there.
Now, was he chainsawing and all that, like in the garage underneath you?
No, he does that in his shop, which is on like the other side of the property. He's got a really nice house.
So you don't hear it at all?
I would, but it wouldn't like necessarily wake me up. It was more like I would wake up in the morning and like, oh, Dave's over there.
Working hard.
And a lot of times, like, you know, it was cool because our dogs were friends and I could go over there. And if I heard that in the morning and I was, you know, drinking coffee or something, I could go over there and be like, oh, hey, Dave, take my cup of coffee as like my dog's going outside. And he'd be like, well, you got some whiskey in there. And he's always got a Coors Light going.
He crashed the Cole Street live recording with me and Joey. And I don't think you ever listened to it, so you didn't hear it. But he walked by, and the whole time, Joey, I mean, like, we got the PAs. We got Mike's PAs going.
Oh, sweet.
So we were doing a live, like a real live, like people bringing people up, talking to them, handing the mic around. And he just walks in with his dog. Hey, what's going on over here? Hey, yeah. You know, and Joey kept on saying, "Love you, Dad. Love you, Dad." Because it was just it was hilarious. It was very funny. But he took right over. He just grabbed a mic and like took us hostage for like a half hour, just talking about stuff.
That's how he is in life. Like, that's really symbolic of what it's like to live next door to him.
Did you get sucked into half-hour conversations?
You know what? A half-hour conversation I would be thankful for. I mean, we are talking night long. Like, no, and you know, does he tune in?
He does tune in here and there. I think he only listened to his though, which is
that sounds typical,
right? So if I put him in the title here, if
you don't, maybe I'll say more
with WAD. Which is wet ass hog dog.
Oh, gross. A wet dog. No one wants a wet dog.
Don't say more. You don't have to say more.
Okay.
I might be running for city council one day, and I don't. He might be one of my constituents.
Thinking about doing that?
No.
Can I be your campaign manager?
No.
Oh, come on.
You'd be great. I just wouldn't do it. What I'm saying, I Googled it because people hit me up. They're like, "Hey, you want to do this?"
I saw Anthony write Google it.
Well, I got messages.
Say that.
I got messages saying, "Hey, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it." From a few different people, and I Googled it. It's like 20 hours. It's like 25 hours a week on top of my job, on top of the podcast, on top of me hanging out with my bros, like golfing. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just...
Yeah.
I don't even know if it pays. Like, maybe it pays.
It doesn't pay.
Yeah.
I don't think... And you know what? I would be... If you wanted to get into it, I'd, like, so support you, and I'd be stoked for you. But I don't think it's in line with what you want to do. I think it would even possibly hinder what you're doing here because you'd feel like maybe you had to be, like, a little bit more professional. I'm trying to take over the Courier Herald. Absolutely. And I'd have to recuse myself on every friggin' thing. Like, okay, well, we've got a notion to or motion. We got a notion in the ocean. Notion in the ocean. Hey, can you believe I've never smoked weed? Do you want to?
No. Okay. I've gone this far. That's the thing.
That's how I feel about COVID. It's like I've gotten this far. I better not freaking get it.
I would totally do COVID with the rest of the guys, though. But just
a big old line of COVID.
Just a big old, just COVIDed me up. I would just get a bukkake of COVID. Just people coughing all over my face.
I love a bukkake joke.
Bukkake COVID.
People are just coughing on,
just hacking all, and I'm
just sitting, guys coughing on you.
And I've got sunglasses on. I'm sitting there in a just shirt off in front of Hog Dog's house, lotioned up by all the guys, and just getting coughed on. But yeah, I don't. I maybe there's a comedian that goes by the name of Cash Levy. He's pretty funny, but he's waiting for most drugs when he hits 80. Because then, you take drugs now and you could get addicted, ruin your life, lose your family. But you're 80, man, you're still getting a pension. You don't losing your job. And you could do shroom. You could do so many different drugs and it won't really matter.
Yeah.
At that point.
I have laid off the weed quite a bit because it makes me really paranoid now. I just think that there's so much going on in the world that, like, I think we're all a lot closer to the edge. I think we've seen a lot of people fall off the edge.
Yes.
And we're taking a picture. And I think it's just having not a positive effect on me anymore. So I've really laid off lately. But I do love mushrooms.
What? Have you done them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess that's a dumb thing.
I love them.
Have you done them?
I'm experimental.
Are they wet ass? Are they wham?
Wet ass mushrooms. No, they were dried, but there is this dude, I guess, that sells mushroom caramels.
Shut up.
And he's like a mirage to me. I've never actually met him or know who he is or anything, but I've heard of him and I have had the caramels. They were wonderful. So,
can you tell me? I'm dead serious on this.
Okay.
I watched the Netflix. There's a lot.
Mushrooms are crazy.
Okay, so
I'm not even talking about the magic mushrooms. I'm just talking about the healing aspect of mushrooms. This is in line with alternative health and stuff. Okay. I'm way into mushrooms.
So talk to me.
I'm not the expert.
When was it within the last 5 years that you've done?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you cool with me going down this type of questioning?
Yeah.
Was it in the past year?
I have not done mushrooms in the past year. The last time I did mushrooms was last New Year's.
Did you do it in a past year?
In a pasture? No, not in a pasture.
With a pastor?
I did it with a friend of mine, an EHS grad as well.
Really?
Yep. I won't name her. It was just
a girl, though.
Just a couple of babes out for
I already know who it is.
No, it's not Jessica Abbey.
No, it's not.
Nope, but she was our bartender that night. Yeah, no, I just, you know what? You don't have to have a huge trip and get crazy and see purple mushrooms or anything. There's a lot of micro dosing that you can do with mushrooms, not magic mushrooms even. But you can add powdered mushrooms, cordyceps, and ashwagandha, all these different adaptogens. It gets really crazy, but there's a lot of supplements.
Do you have a poster on your wall of what type of mushrooms there are? How did you memorize all that?
I'm just really into health stuff.
Do you hunt for them?
No, but I would love to. So you can get all of these different supplements and like put them in your smoothie and stuff. I don't do the magic mushrooms in my smoothie, but you don't have to take a whole bunch and like get super crazy or something. It's like we did a little bit and we were just like really happy.
Oh, you're just happy. It's just like taking like a methamphetamine. And
no, I would never do anything like that.
I'm just kidding.
And I don't do anything crazy. I know. I'm kidding.
Out
of the norm.
So have you done a magic mushroom before?
Yeah.
And what was your trip like?
It was incredible. Like, which time do you want to know about?
Have you had a bad?
No, I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, and I can be like pretty up and down. So I've heard that like if you're down, then you just shouldn't do them. I don't know that I've ever done them when I was down.
Have you ever done them with someone that was having a bad trip?
No.
Never.
I've probably done them 10 times.
Oh, okay. So
with a range of people.
And how long do they last?
A couple hours.
And what do you do?
Starts,
do you ever
wearing
sleep?
Out.
Do you ever just sleep during it?
They actually do make you tired. So
I was going to say
they have to like be
chill, like in
kind of doing something.
Have you ever been like took them and like, oh shoot, I need to run to the grocery store real quick and drove there? And,
no, I don't do. No, that would be no. I'm not getting behind a wheel. I'm not doing anything like that. It's not like a glass of wine.
Like no one's hit you up like, hey, I need to pick. You're like, oh crap, I need to like pick this person up. Like I needed to like.
No, the first time I did mushrooms, I was at Bumbershoot in Seattle, and that I'd never experimented with anything at that point, and so that was like life changing. And I just remember walking down the street and just like being so overly confident, not like, oh, I'm so good looking or any, not like
you weren't having that wet ass hair going.
I didn't have that wet ass hair, but I was just like, I just was like so sure of myself, and I like felt so like
confident, ready to roll
in my own standing.
Who you were as a woman.
Yeah, and then that night, who was that band that we went and saw? They had like party rock or something, and it like
LMFAO.
Yes, it was an LMFAO concert. Is that? And it's like the guy with the crazy hair.
Did you know that's an uncle and his nephew?
No, but we were like, so then we were like and there's all these like bouncing balls all over, like beach balls, bouncing all around. And
you grabbed one, you did around the world, you did between the legs.
I was just like, you know what, this is a little much. I want to go get a little bit of air. So me and my friend walked off to the side, and then this gal came up to us and she was like, you guys look really cool. I'm not from around here. What are you guys up to? And do you mind if I sit with you? And we're like, yeah, sure, go ahead, sit down. And we're not like tripping out. You just never do too much, right? That's like, you just don't ever, you just always do too little and then you're fine. And
I think that should be on the back of your advice. Van. Don't ever do too much. Just too little.
So then,
and you're fine.
So this gal like sat and talked to us, and then she was like, what are you guys doing later? And we're like, I don't know, like, because you don't want to get invited anywhere by a stranger.
Right.
And a gal, then you're like, who knows what she wants us to do.
Right.
And she's like, well, I'm here with LMFAO, and we have an after party if you guys want to come down. And we're like, sure. And so she got us on the list, and then we went and partied with them after their show.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow. Why are you so cool? Why do cool things happen to you all the time?
Yeah, you gotta do mushrooms.
I'll blame that.
You know what? I'm just really open-minded, and I don't close off from things. I don't shut doors.
Can we talk about that then for a second real quick? Mm-hmm. Since we're already getting deep and diving deep. Only a few more minutes, though.
Okay.
A few more minutes.
Okay. Is Jamie getting pissed?
No, we got a minute. No, we're going out. You and I are going out after this.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go hit up with the boys. If you want.
Like Mike and them are out right now?
Yes. That's what my texts are just blowing up right now.
They never invite me. And I have to come do a podcast to get invited out for a beer with the guys?
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, I'll take it.
So.
This is fun. I don't hate doing this. That sounded like I hated doing this.
I got to do this shit to actually get invited to places?
I mean, I would just expect they just, invite me.
Well, they don't know when you're in town.
I hear this all the time.
Okay. Anyway, my kids and I were having a nice conversation. You know, they're getting to that age where they're 17, almost 16. And now you start to see, back in the day when they were like 5, 6, 7, they started, rather than just being like poopy diaper heads, they then started grasping what they liked. Megan was a singer and a talker. Madden was a sports person and strategic, and Kane builder. So they start to like grow into that. But then they hit the teenage years. The teenage years is where the emotions kick in, where they start to be who they're going to be. Are they going to be the critical thinker? Are they going to be the problem solver? Are they going to be led by their emotions? Are they going to be led by feelings? And so with that, that's how people shape their decisions. Is kind of, that's where their decisions are going to go. Ooh, that looks hard. And how do you approach something that's hard? Do you power through? Do you shy away? That whole thing, right? I am an emotional guy. Okay, I'll cry tonight probably. It hits. I get some sweeping movement of emotion. I could be triggered by seeing just like a family, or it could be an older couple. Just usually something to where it brings a memory to me of like my grandfather, or maybe my kids when they were younger, or something like that, where it's like, oh man, like just a little bit of, I won't cry and like sit there and bawl, but I mean, like, I'll get the teary eyed of just that warm feeling. Maybe
this makes me really want to do mushrooms.
Maybe I'm on mushrooms right now. Okay. Well,
I will peer pressure.
All the cool kids are doing it. Do you want that wet ass hair? So I'm like, all right, well, I don't know where I was going with that. All right, well, I'm in the middle of my own story. So I'm thinking with my kids, I see that they're starting to have difference of opinions, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what ends up either bonding a family or shattering a family, right? Where you got some people that believe one thing, other people believe another thing, and then some of those issues they just don't see eye to eye, and they take those things personal, and then they don't talk, right? So which is now I'm like dad, like going, oh crap, like, you know, I'm not seeing eye to eye with a couple of them. They're not seeing eye to eye. Obviously, there's love there. There's the bond. There's the growth. But I feel like you're more of the feelings-based, even though I'm an emotional person. I feel like you are very in tune with how other people, like you care about people, mm-hmm. which is probably why COVID hit you so hard, maybe, mm-hmm. where you just, no big deal. It's just like a flu. But then, I don't know if you had guilt later where you're just like, well, maybe it was actually a little bit, now I should have been more worried. Now I wasn't wearing a mask and I was, I don't know if you ever went through that. You're in tune and care about other people person? Or are you a selfish person and you care about yourself a little bit more? Like what would you say you are?
You know, I think I borderline in between. I'm moderate politically. So I can border on both of those. I can walk into a room and it's called an empath. Like I can definitely catch vibes from people, and I can walk away and be like, you know what? Something was just off with them. I hope everything's going okay at home or at work or whatever. I can pick up some things like that. I like to make decisions based off of my intuition, my knowledge. I like to read a lot and do a lot of my own research. I don't like to follow crowds. I don't like to follow one person. That was a political comment. I just like to go to the beat of my own drum, but I can't worry about every person in the world and sacrifice my own well-being for that or my own happiness for that. But at the same time, I just want to make sure that the people around me are okay and that we're just making the right decisions in the world for the humanity.
Now, are you an open thinker? I think you said you're open-minded, but are you an open thinker where you will hear all sides, even if you disagree, even if you know I'm maybe a little biased in this certain topic, I'll still listen to that person because maybe they will have something to share of value that I might get. Like, whoa, okay, I didn't really see it that way, but now I kind of see it that way. Or are you a type of person who's like, I'm really not going to spend my time talking to somebody about something that I already have kind of made my mind up on?
Yeah, you know what? I actually think that it's the people that we disagree with that we need to hear the most.
So then when it comes to all this crap that's going on right now, and I understand that you've got very vocal people. Like that's just, I mean, you got their platforms everywhere and they're very vocal. That's the scary part. On either, however you look at it, you've got conservative people scared of the platforms of the liberal people, and the liberal people scared of the platforms of the conservative people, and you kind of want to shut that off, like, ooh, there's hate there, or oh, that's just misinformation, or however they view it, right? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think that's a bad thing. I wish that everyone was a little bit more open-minded right now to just hear out and think in an unbiased opinion. Bias is the cancer of our country right now. Yeah. I feel like it's like if someone voted the same as you, you're just going to stick with them and ride or die. And that is so toxic. Right. Where, you know, I mean, I just saw a couple weeks ago, somebody that I do respect that does think differently than me had put something up about how Trump has actually won, and I'm totally open to hearing those pieces. I think that all these conspiracy theories, anything like this. I mean, I sell juice cleanses for health, right? So I'm totally into alternate ideas and alternate medicine and all kinds of things like that. But the first couple sentences, it said that there was like 274 counties in our country, and a quick Google search, we're at about 310. You completely invalidated yourself.
In our state?
In
our country?
In our country.
There's only 310 counties?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they always have like those, wow, that's it?
Yeah, but they were off by almost 40 counties.
That's crazy.
That's over 10% that they were off by. And so by saying that, it was a copy and paste thing, and it said copy and paste if you agree or whatever. And it was like, how unfair is it that you'll just copy and paste that because it serves your end result, it serves, but at the same time, you're just contributing to that fake news. And I'm like, you are the toxic part of this country.
And because even if you're right, you may post something that is very valid, but people are going to remember 2 weeks ago that you just copy and pasted and just shoved something out there that was like, well, that guy didn't do any research on it.
Exactly.
And then they're not going to look at the thing that was valid and right. I agree with that. Like, there's a joke that I don't even know if I want to get into this too much, but I mean, my parents are getting old, and my parents they're at that age where I remember when my grandparents first discovered email, and then they were just forwarding every flippin' email out there.
Oh yeah, the chain emails that used to go out. Yes, the chain
emails that was like, done. Hey, share these with all your friends, or else. I mean, I remember that in teenage land, but I'm talking like there was political even back then, and now rather than it being emails, it's tweets and it's articles, and it's still that same type of thing that you can quickly read a title and send it off. And I've fallen victim. I think everyone has at some point just read it. Oh, boom, get this out there. I hope people have learned from that, and they don't rather than defending themselves on why they posted it, just said, yeah, you're right, blew it. You know, like, ugh, I made a mistake. Be human. You're human. You know, you made a mistake. It makes sense. It happens. You saw something, you went with it. It was emotion, whatever. But then don't do it again. Like, next time, be a little more smarter.
Yeah, take it down or put it in the comments. Hey, you know what? I ended up fact checking this. There's actually 310 counties in the United States of America. That includes the District of Columbia and the parishes or whatever that they've got in Louisiana. Yeah. Like, yeah, go and correct yourself, and then also it's really fascinating to see people be humble right now because no one will sit down and be humble.
No.
They always just like will fight till the death right now. And
Kendrick
it's like
Lamar over here. Okay, sit down, be humble. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Wow, sit down, be humble.
I think he sounds like an alien, but he does have I saw him at Coachella.
He's top 10 for me. Kendrick Lamar is definitely top 10 for me.
Yeah, he's got a really great message all the time.
But yes, I agree with you on that. Like just take a seat, chill out,
try to learn
something. Yeah, I mean it's we don't know everything. Be open, listen to other people. I'm not saying that I know everything. Obviously, I think that I'm right on everything until I hear something and go, "Oh, well, actually, maybe I'm wrong on that." You know. But
early in my career, I worked at a call center, and it was for Bank of America, and I didn't actually take the majority of the calls, but I would have to jump in when people were like taking lunch breaks and stuff like that, and I had a really, really great manager there, and she taught me a lot of things, and I still like literally daily think about something that she had said, and one of them is just like come from a place where you're asking a question. Like if the customer's so angry on the phone, and I mean, you'd just get the worst people in a call center. I just wasn't built for that. Mm-hmm. Even for 1 hour a day, I was not built for that. And it's like, well, come from a place that you're asking a question. Like why are they so mad? Like, let's hear about that. And how can you phrase that question to understand like why? And I see so many people now on Facebook or something saying like, why? And why is that? And why is that?
Right.
And it's like, it's really aggressive. And it's like, well, what if we were like asking the question why? Because we really want to seek to understand right now.
And here's why. Here's why it's really aggressive. We haven't figured out like how to talk. Social media is so new. I remember being taught as an elementary kid how to write a letter. And in that letter, you would present it, "Dear so-and-so, how are you today?"
That's great.
"I'm doing well." "What are you you know, we would have pen pals. We'd practice this. They'd send them off to other schools. We'd practice on how to have a conversation through the mail. They're not in front of you. Nowadays, social media being so new, we don't know how to have a conversation in social media. We don't. Right. We can't read. Like when you have pen pals, you usually know those people. You usually can write a long time to them and say things in a certain way where typically they would read it in your voice. They would know who you were.
You're asking a lot of questions to get to know that person.
Right.
What's your favorite color? What do you like to do at recess?
Right.
What do you do at home?
My aunt would write us birthday cards front and back on the cards. Like, obviously we were there opening up for the money, but we would stay for the handwrite, right? All cursive. But we could read it in her voice.
Right.
Here, and in relationships, friendships, coworker, whatever you want to call it, a lot of the time we're trying to interpret what other people are doing, not just conversations, but what they're doing based off of, well, I would do it that way if I was mad. Well, when someone else is, you're just trying to figure out why they're doing it that way. And then you have a conversation, realize, oh, they're not mad. They're just rushed, right? Or they're just this. And now let's now move to conversations. You're reading comments on, well, I would only say that if I was mad, or I would say that if I was sarcastic. So many people have hit me up saying, like, when I've actually had genuine conversations through messaging, like, I thought you were being sarcastic with that. I'm like, no. I mean, emojis help, but no, I'm not.
Right.
An LOL at the end, it was always good too. But I don't think we've learned how to have conversations, meaningful comments with perfect strangers we've never talked to. We just don't know how to do that.
Right. We don't. And a Facebook status is a podium that you're just talking at a crowd of however many followers you have.
Right.
and we're just not geared to respond to all of them. And we're also not geared to listen to other people on their podium. And I think it's a big bummer. I really do. And something has to change. And I don't know if it's changing in the right direction right now with like the censorship.
Right.
And everything. But also at the same time, I have my own business.
Right.
And I take my dog on all of my deliveries. Every delivery, Howie goes on with me.
Nice.
He's my little road dog. He's my little
You're
buddy.
Mad Max driving in that car with your dog by your side.
And at first, I didn't take him because I didn't think it was appropriate. But all of the juice is sealed. He's not in the kitchen with me when I make it. There's no dog hair. He's not allowed in the back. There's actually a barrier.
And he's a shorter dog. I mean, it's not
he's
like
a little guy.
You're not gonna have like some
thick.
shedding German Shepherd.
Oh yeah, that'd be crazy.
Right.
But he's just a little guy, and he has his own little dog car seat. And then as I got really busy, I couldn't even leave him for the entire day because I was gone so much making deliveries. And then I got really confident about it, and I started giving Howie his own persona. And I started calling him the delivery driver assistant and taking pictures of him and posting him to my stories when he's sleeping. And I was really afraid that as I leaned into this, that people would not want to buy juice from me because I had my dog in the car with me as I'm delivering it. Even though the juice is in a cooler on ice in a separated area on the van. But what I learned is that people actually love me more and love my brand more and love Howie. Sometimes even greeted at the door with dog treats from the people I'm delivering to because they're like, here, this is for Howie because they love Howie so much. Just from social media, just from a story. And what I've learned is that these people that don't want their juice delivered to them by somebody who has a dog in a car seat in their front passenger seat is not my customer. And they probably wouldn't like me for a lot more reasons than that. And so you need to go to another place to get your juice. And I think that's where we're heading. But also from an authentic place of where I am as a small business, very, very small business owner, I have found my tribe by being really authentic in my own self.
That's how you got to do it.
And I think that like Facebook gets a lot of crap because they're trying to be authentic and finding their tribe right now. And yeah, it does mean that some people are out. And I don't agree. I don't totally agree with it. But from my standpoint,
the thing is, I agree. But I mean, Facebook, good luck doing that. I've been
they're too far in.
Dude, I've been an admin for like 8 months on a page. You're not going to please everyone. Everyone has demands. Everyone gets butt hurt. Not everyone, but there's people who get butt hurt over stuff.
Yeah. I exited. I saw somebody saying racial stuff on there. And
Did they?
Yeah. And I blocked him, but then I was like, you know what? From what I understand, it was right before you actually did put a couple rules on.
Yeah.
It was in the no rule zone.
I started kicking people out at that point.
And it was right before that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just on here enough that the algorithm is popping everything up that someone says. And I don't want this in my life.
Right.
And it's no offense to anyone.
That's fine.
And I'm not being a freaking snowflake and I'm not whatever. I don't want to see that stuff in my life.
Neither do I. And I'd be sitting there. And like, I gotta work. I'm not on that thing. And so when I get off work, I'd be like, okay, let's go check this 85 notifications I got right now. 9+. Sorry. It says 9+. Open it up. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh. And then I was just like, okay. And then I had to create Kravis Tenny because I'm like, I got to just start being funny about it, but just getting rid of some of this crap. Because it was bad. And I did. We cleaned it up. Now we just talk about buttholes the entire time. Believe it or not, buttholes is like a constant thing. So you're still not missing much.
I've got so much to talk about with buttholes.
You want me to invite you back on? Because you're gonna be.
I just got back on.
Are you on
2 weeks
Ian
ago?
discussion board again?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I am, but I did have to get off because
it was just getting so toxic.
It's really toxic.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and I'm open to other people's opinions. It's not opinions. It's when they are talking like legit racial stuff or legit things about women or
that's different.
When we get into like really putting down a couple of things.
Anything. I mean, all that stuff. I mean,
but I also don't want to bash men either.
You did already. Thank you. Say one bad thing about a woman.
Keep them down and they'll behave themselves.
You say one bad thing about a woman. I'll say one bad thing about a man. You say one bad thing about a woman.
Like a blanket statement
like
about
a
men?
Very stereotypical. No, me. I'm going to say about men. You're going to say it about women.
Oh, okay.
You can be stereotypical. That's fine. But you got to say one bad, mean thing about women, and I'll say one bad, mean thing about men.
Okay. I'm going to need to hear your example first.
Okay. I would say the majority of men are very narcissistic and into themselves, and they don't know how to process a powerful woman, in a sense. A woman that maybe has that same sort of personality trait.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a majority of women like weird signs put up on their walls that say like live, love, laugh, and they just haven't.
I'm over here saying so deep,
and they haven't gotten into their power of like you are better than what your house looks like and how your neighbor does things.
Then I'll say this, people.
I think I was on par with that because it's
barely.
Well,
here's the thing.
But it's like a bigger thing of like they're not even thinking of the bigger picture. Th're just like looking at what all their friends do, and they want to be like, gather sign over my.
They're
thing.
trained.
Let's be in a little army.
Those signs are the same thing as makeup. They're the same thing as posts of happy families. They're the same thing as it. Women are trained to make it look like they have their shit together.
Thank you. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, and I don't like that, and I don't have my shit together, by the way. That's why I'm going to go out with the boys tonight.
But here's the thing. Men also, though, expect that women have their shit together.
Is that why I'm single?
And that's a bad thing.
Do I need to get a live?
Well, I don't think Hog Dog don't care. I think Hog Dog just care whatever you don't get.
He's like, hey, have a glass of wine and get on my massage table.
15 minutes on you, 15 minutes on me. That's a fear factor. But I don't know what side would be the most fearful. Him just rubbing all over you, or you rubbing all over him. Like,
I'll eat the tarantula.
Drop the scorpions on me and lock me in a box. I'll eat the
hours. I'll stay in that box for hours.
I'll eat the tarantula. Oh. Well, everyone, we needed to end on a laugh. We got deep. We were like COVID. We got fat, we got skinny, we got fat, we got skinny. We got serious, we got funny, we got serious, we got funny. We're ending on the funny part, which is the fat part, because, hey, we're just enjoying life right now. So, Sara, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to leave this as one episode. It's going to be a little, about over an hour, definitely over an hour. Thank you for listening this far. Please message her or myself what you liked about this episode. We like to hear the feedback. And Sara, please hit up Sara if you're looking to just even try. You don't have to do a full 30-day juice cleanse, right?
No way.
You just try it out.
Yeah. Just hit me up. We can try some juice out.
Can you throw just like rapid fire? What flavors do you got?
Roaring Orange is a crowd favorite. My seasonals that change monthly are always super good and fruity. But my favorite is always the green.
The green
I feel
machine.
like
the green,
if the green juice is the best that I've ever had,
so you have,
I'm on point.
So you just have three flavors?
No, I have like 7. But
keep going.
I just there's a celery juice. There's I'm coming out with a tea. I have a beet juice. And
are you still doing Bloody Mary things, or is that here and there?
That's here and there.
Like special edition?
I did that as a shot because horseradish is really good raw. which I am coming out with some shots. I'm coming out with a detox soup too. I have acai bowls that you can keep in your freezer and just take them out whenever you want to eat them, so you don't have to actually make it yourself or go somewhere. So I got the whole little thing. Yeah.
And maybe some air fryer juice.
Yeah.
Juice to pour all over your
I call it air fryer lube.
And that's a Sara joke. That's the inappropriate Sara joke that we were looking for. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great week. Appreciate you guys. Please check out Cole Street Brewery, Mazatlan, as well as Bordeaux Wine Bar. And please always check out Grass and Root, what I like to call sometimes Ass and Toot. All right, so... Because you eat healthy, that's what happens, man. You eat healthy, it does kind of.
Well, I mean, if you've been unhealthy and then healthy,
and then you move healthy, all of a sudden you got
in there. But if you're just healthy all the time, that
goes away.
It's just all ass, no toot. That's my Tinder name.
Ass and toot?
All ass, no toot.
Is it really?
No, I don't have Tinder. But
all ass, no toot. End it like that, I guess. All right, thanks to everybody for listening, and have a great week.
Thank you. Let there be juice.
To the greatest of the greatest. A podcast that you never knew you needed. With interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice. Asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them.